All right, we're done with UFC welterweight Matt Brown, who got called out over the weekend. Matt, how's it going?
Very good.
Uh, Obviously, Jim Miller's fight, like going into that, did you have any inkling that he might be calling you out after the win, or like or did that surprise you when he did call you out?
It didn't really surprise me. I think me and him have kind of discussed it, not like between each other, but it's been out there in the space, the world that we live in now. Somewhere out there in the universe, it's been discussed.
And that 300 timeline of April, like, is that work for you then? Like, that is a fight you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I was hoping to get on 300 anyway, so it works out perfect for me. You, 300, why not?
Yeah, because you like obviously Jim's been on 100, 200. You like just miss out on both of them. Like you fought on what 98 and then 201, or like you were like right around both of them and didn't get on the big ones.
Yeah, I tried to get on 100 and 200, didn't happen. So I've been kind of shooting for 300 already, kind of getting ready for that timeline anyway. So yeah, again, it works out perfect for me. And what a great guy to go fight against, man. Jim Miller's a fucking legend. Much respect for him. Really love the guy. So let's hope that it works.
I know we obviously called out Paul Felder too, but Paul has kind of been hesitant if he's gonna come back. So do you think like you would be that front runner, like the favorite for you and Jim to fight?
I can't imagine that, you know, that that I wouldn't be the front runner. I mean, all respect to Paul Felder. I mean, he hasn't fought in how long now, and he was, kind of retired. And I don't know, is he even back in the pool? I don't know what pool we have now, but
I know he did a couple months ago because he thought he might come back for something. He like tweeted out he was back, but then like he still isn't even really sure if he's gonna fight again. But I don't even know how the testing pool works anymore at the new
yeah,
system.
I don't either. So, and look, he makes money, talking about fights. He's sitting cage side and watching. So he should stick with doing what he's doing. He's making good money doing that, still getting to be around the show all the time. So I think he should keep enjoying that and let me and Jim Miller throw down.
And I imagine Jim would probably prefer your fight as well, being at 170, so he doesn't have to cut much weight again, back to back fights.
Yeah, it freaking works great for him, right? I still have to cut the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he wants to do it 85.
With Jim, like, is this a guy you just kind of like one of those guys? Like, I think no matter when you start watching the sport, like everyone kind of likes Jim. Everyone's been a fan of Jim. So, like, is this just someone like you just want to fight just because of what he's done in this sport?
Well, I have no bad things to say about Jim Miller, of course. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a great guy. Got a lot of respect for him and everything that he's done. So, um, I think it just works out well. The two of us go in there and fight. It's a good name. It's a good. I think it's an easy fight to promote.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the most wins. I got the most knockouts. I think there's a lot of easy promotion there. There's not going to be a lot of shit talk or anything. It's just going to be me and him going in. You know what you're going to get. Two guys that are going to go in and bang it out hard. That are going to give everything they got. And there's going to be some blood. And there's going to be some fun.
And that's like a fight that can kind of attract the older audience that know you and Jim for fighting for so long, and then especially a lot of these new fans because like you throw a couple of you and Jim highlights together in a package, and it's not too hard to get people excited for it.
Yeah, I think everybody would be excited for us. So it makes a lot of sense in my book. And um, we did Sean's job for him or Dana's job for him, right? So they could take the day off and book the fight and be done with it.
Have the UFC talked to you, or have you reached out to the UFC after Saturday just to say like I'd be interested in that?
I actually sent Sean a text today, but haven't got heard back yet.
And then with 300, like you said, you're planning for that. So have you already been kind of training for that date, anyways?
I mean, I'm always training, so I haven't really changed anything up. But mentally, I've been kind of thinking. I kind of put in the word a while back that I wanted to be on 300, and um, they kind of they didn't make many promises yet, but they said it's a possibility. So let's see what happens.
And I know when we've talked, you've always preferred fighting these like more veteran and like kind of these well-known guys, like when you fought like Condit and like Court McGee. So like, does that just add to the excitement of the fight that it's not like one of these up and comers that not many people know about? Like it is a guy that's been around just as long as you.
Did I say that before, that I preferred fighting those guys?
I think you've said like it was more exciting to fight the guys that you kind of been around with.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I like getting in there and I like fighting against other guys in a cage, man. So I don't really think about that too much. But uh, I think when you do have a mutual respect for someone and something that they've done, it's certainly there's something to say about that.
And it's kind of crazy. Like both you guys are still fighting at a like and still getting wins in the UFC. Like what 10, 15 years later after you guys have started. Like it's been a long time for you guys, and you're still like right near the rankings for a lot. Like Jim's a guy that's probably right near the top 15. Like you're still getting these high quality wins. Like it is kind of crazy how long both your careers have been, how successful they've been.
Yeah, yeah, that's just another reason I think it's a great matchup. We're both been around for a long time. Like, there's going to be some good tactics in this fight. There's going to be a good, we know how to get prepared. We know how to fight. We know how to do this whole thing. We know how to go in there and put on a war. And I think all the pieces of the puzzle are together right now to make this happen. So let's make it happen.
If it does come to fruition, like how would you kind of see that fight playing out? Because it should be a pretty fun one for everyone.
Well, I think it's sort of a classic grappler versus
Mhm.
striker matchup in a sense where, certainly I'm going to try to keep it on the feet and knock him out. If he's smart, he's going to try to take me down and win on the ground somehow, whether it's submission or ground pound, whatever. I think I can keep it on the feet and knock him out.
Mhm.
So that's what I would see happening. But I'm sure he sees where he'd be able to take me down and do whatever he does down there.
Jim's fought at 70 before, but like you're obviously the natural guy at welterweight. So do you think like that size would play a big role in the fight, or do you not think it really matters that much?
If anything, I don't think I'm so much. I've stood next to him before. I've hung out with him, not hung out, but yeah, I've stood around him before, and I'm not that much bigger than him. So I am bigger. So if anything, I think it would be a negative for me, right? He'd be the one not cutting weight. I would be the
Mhm.
one cutting weight. So I do think that I don't think the size would be a big enough advantage that it would overcome the fact that I have to cut weight and he wouldn't.
And then I know whenever we've talked, you've always said like you just kind of take your career one fight at a time. Like, is that still the case, or like could this be your last one, or is it still just kind of however you feel after every fight?
It would definitely still come down to a feel after every fight. I'm not sure that I would technically retire after this one. I don't think I could do many more after this one though. I get in there and get this fight, get this win. I think it would probably be it. I don't know if I would formally say like, okay, I'm
Mhm.
done with the sport, but I'll kind of think about that, I guess, as time goes on. But um, I don't see me doing more after this personally right now.
And when I've talked to a bunch of fighters, like some of them are a bit different. Some of them like want it to be known that like their last one is a retirement fight and kind of get that send off. Others just say like, I'll just kind of announce it after a fight. Like for you, is it? I imagine it'd be like post fight. That announce would be like you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, this is it for the last," like going into a fight.
Yeah, I don't really want to make that announcement necessarily because I know how it's going to feel after I go in and get this win. I'm like, dude, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to want to do it again. Well, even if I were to go in and lose, I know that I would want to do it again. So I don't want to necessarily make that announcement. Um, and it's really not that I want to stop fighting, and that's why I wouldn't want to necessarily announce it, so to speak. But just life is just in the way, man. Kids are getting older. Um, I just that's the main thing, right? It's just missing things with the kids,
Mhm.
man. Like my son's in wrestling right now, and during his season, and it's like, dude, I'm gonna be missing some of his matches, to be training for this fight, and that's just not so cool anymore. Especially they're at that
Mhm.
age now. They're gonna remember like if their dad was there, and I would rather them remember me being at their match, whether my other son, he's a golfer, so whether it's his golf being on the podium or my son wrestling and being up on the podium, I think I would rather them remember me being at their match, at their event, than them remembering being at my event, if that makes sense.
Have they been to your fights before? Like, do you
Oh
take
yeah,
them?
yeah.
Yeah.
They've been almost all of them that since they've been alive.
Yeah, because I know when I've talked to some fighters, like some of them don't like bringing their kids there. They just think like it adds a bit of stress. Or like I guess you don't really care for that. Like they're always there.
No, it doesn't stress me out at all. Like whether they go watch on TV or watch live is no difference. They don't like hang out with me backstage or
Yeah.
come cut weight with me or anything. They're just watching the fight.
Just last thing, I always talk about it, but like, I'm with your fighting career, like you've always kind of kept yourself busy, like you said, and you have like the coffee, you have coaching. It's like, how has all that been going for you? Like, is that just like kind of that easy transition to make, like post fighting, is just to go all in on those two?
We'll see. I got a lot of different things going on. Doing a lot with real estate, doing a lot with coaching guys, and the gym's going well. So we just kind of play it by ear, man. I really just kind of, just want to enjoy life, man.
Mhm.
Which for me, that means being in the gym and training and getting ready for a fight. So I got to figure out how I can enjoy life when that is not the case. And that's a different world. So coaching other guys will probably fill a lot of those voids. But I guess we just got to play it by ear, man.
Well, Matt, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
My pleasure. Always. Thanks, bub.